Let me ask you a question. When you look at incredibly wealthy people, do you just assume they got really lucky? Or, maybe they were just in the right place at the exact right time? Well, what if I told you that getting rich is an exact mathematical science, like literally as reliable and logical as algebra or arithmetic? No way, right? But that is the absolutely bold premise we are unpacking in today's explainer, drawn straight from the legendary work of Wallace Wattles. To be content with less is sinful. Wow. Okay, that is definitely a bit of a shock to the system, isn't it? I mean, most of us are taught from day one that wanting more is just plain greedy. But Wattles? He argues the exact opposite. He states that true success absolutely requires using material things to fully unfold your soul, your mind, and your body. Basically, he's saying that the desire for riches is really just the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. You just can't reach your absolute highest potential without the resources to actually get there. And that brings us to the core of what we're doing today. We are breaking down the practical, metaphysical formula derived from Wallace Wattles' legendary book, The Science of Getting Rich. Fun fact, this is the exact text that actually inspired the global phenomenon The Secret years later. It's essentially a manual for people who want results right now and want to figure out the philosophy later. Okay, let's dive right into this. Think of this as our table of elements for today's scientific formula. We'll be hitting the right to be rich, the formless thinking stuff, create, do not compete, the law of gratitude, and finally, acting in the certain way. Starting off with Section 1, the right to be rich. So this sets the entire foundation of the formula. We have to clear away all that old programming and accept the core premise that wanting wealth is completely normal, totally natural, and absolutely necessary. Now, you might be thinking, well, isn't wealth just about where you live or how smart you are? Wattles actually proves this isn't the case at all. Getting rich is not about your environment, because rich and poor people live side by side in the exact same towns. It's not solely about talent either, because intellectually brilliant people often stay poor, while, let's be honest, very stupid people get exceptionally rich. And it's definitely not just about thrift. Miserly, penny-pinching people are often poor, while free spenders accumulate immense wealth. So since wealth isn't guaranteed by your talent, your location, or your savings account, it absolutely must be the result of doing things in what Wattles calls a certain way. Moving on to Section 2, the formless thinking stuff. Now, this is the core element of our formula, and I gotta warn you, this is where the science gets wonderfully, beautifully metaphysical. So the crucial point is understanding this formless substance. It's defined as the original intelligent thinking stuff from which absolutely everything is made. According to the source, this invisible raw material permeates, penetrates, and literally fills the interspaces of the entire universe. And the most fascinating part of all this, it is a thinking substance that literally responds to and takes the shape of human thought. Wattles repeats a very specific 3-part syllabus throughout his work, and I really want you to mentally bookmark these absolute rules of the universe right now. Ready? 1. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made. 2. A thought in this substance actually produces the thing imaged by the thought. And 3, a person can form things in their thought, and by impressing that thought upon the formless substance, actually cause the thing they think about to be created. Next up, Section 3, create, do not compete. To actually apply this formula, you need a massive mindset shift. See, the universe is inherently designed for the increase of life. It wants more life for everyone. Therefore, the universe will never take from one person just to give to another. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. The competitive mind operates on this stressful belief that supply is completely limited, that to win, you literally must defeat someone else and take their piece of the pie. But the creative mind knows that supply is totally limitless. You don't have to fight over a tiny limited pie because you are literally baking a brand new one straight from the formless substance. You don't have to cheat anyone, and you certainly don't have to drive sharp bargains. And to prove that you don't have to cheat people to get rich, Wattles breaks down this concept of use value with a really fascinating anecdote. Imagine taking a painting with a cash value of $500 all the way to Greenland, and you trade it to an Inuit hunter for $500 worth of furs. Well, according to Wattles, you've wronged him. The painting has incredibly low use value for him. It doesn't practically add anything to his daily life. But if you trade him a gun with a cash value of just $50 for those exact same furs, he has made a fantastic bargain. Why? Because the gun has amazingly high use value. It's going to help him get more food, survive, and get even more furs. The golden rule here is you must always give every person more in use value than you take from them in cash value.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Law of Gratitude.
This right here is the true catalyst of our formula. Remember that formless substance we just talked about? Well, this is exactly how you connect your mind to it harmoniously. Wattles states, the law of gratitude is the natural principle that action and reaction are always equal and in opposite directions. He's telling us that gratitude isn't just about being polite or, having good manners at the dinner table. It is a literal physical law of action and reaction. Your grateful outreaching of your mind instantly creates a reaction in that formless substance, actively speeding up the delivery of your desires. Basically, a grateful mind fundamentally becomes the best, and therefore it receives the best. Gratitude keeps you continuously locked in and connected to that creative power. It completely stops you from falling into dissatisfaction or that toxic competitive thinking about how things currently are. But most importantly, it produces and increases unwavering faith. It acts as an absolute anchor against the deadly doubt and unbelief that will, quite frankly, instantly ruin the entire formula. Finally, we reach Section 5, acting in the certain way. Okay, so we've talked a lot about thought and mindset, but now we have to address the exact physical application needed to complete this whole thing. Here are the exact steps. Step 1, form a clear mental picture. The text gives this amazing example of a poor man who visualized a new house, mentally adding rooms, a bay window, and literally visualizing the exact rug and coal stove you wanted. Step 2, hold unwavering faith and purpose. You just have to claim it as yours. If you want a sewing machine, confidently expect it to arrive, even if it requires a crazy chain of transactions, bringing someone from Texas or Japan to get it to you. And step 3, take efficient action. And that brings us exactly here. Act. Now. I absolutely love the energy of this. This is a punchy, energetic reality check from Wattles. Daydreaming and castle building, they are simply not enough. Your thought is what brings the object to you, sure, but only your personal efficient action allows you to actually receive it when it finally gets there. You can't just sit around on the couch waiting for a magic purse to fill with money. Now, what's really fascinating about this breakdown is how blunt the mandate for action really is. You cannot act in the past, it's totally gone. And you cannot act in the future, it simply isn't here yet. You must put 100% of your focus on the present. You can only act right now, in your current environment, doing your current job in a perfectly successful, efficient manner. As you go about this daily, efficient work, you become what Wattles calls the advancing person. There's this fantastic favorite quote from Golden Rule Jones in the text, "What I want for myself, I want for everybody." By doing your work efficiently and holding your vision, you naturally give the impression of increase to literally everyone you meet. People instinctively want more life, right? So they will be naturally drawn to you because they just feel that associating with you will bring them advancement. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to wrap up our explainer. If your thoughts can literally shape the universe, what will you create today? Seriously, it is time to stop competing over limited scraps. It's time to realize the supply is completely infinite. Take this 100-year-old exact science, visualize clearly, act efficiently in your present moment, and apply this amazing formula to your own modern life. Thanks so much for joining me